The history of the Dormition of the Mother of God mission of the Sisters of the Order of St. Basil the Great in Hungary. Prehistory. There were sisters of the Byzantine tradition in Hungary from the time of the first saintly Hungarian king, Saint Istvan, or better known as Stephen I, who ruled from 975 to 1038. The young fiancé of Imre, the son of King Stephen, came from Byzantium, and some Byzantine sisters came with her to Hungary. During the stormy history, some of the women monasteries of the Byzantine tradition that were established in Hungary became empty. Later on, some new monasteries were set up, but after the Trianon Agreement, those monasteries found themselves outside of the Hungarian borders. The foundation. In 1935, the provincial superior of the Basilian Fathers in Hungary, Reverend Miklas Dudas, invited 4 Basilian sisters from Ungvar, Uzsarad, to Hungary and brought them to Mariapocs in 1935. These 4 sisters did blessed work, and soon they opened houses in Hajdudgarov and Sataral Yaheli. The present monastery in Mariapocs was built in 1940 and blessed on November the 8th, 1941. In Mariapocs, the sisters conducted an orphanage and taught in the local elementary school of the Basilian Fathers. In 1941, the novitiate in Mariapocs was opened. Before the Second World War, the sisters served in Mariapocs, Nyíregyháza, and Budapest. From the testimonies of the sisters, we know that during the Second World War, some sisters came from Ukraine, especially from the Lviv monastery, who found shelter in Hungary. Under communism. In 1950, when the communist government took over Hungary, the community was disbanded. 24 sisters and 4 novices were forced to leave their monasteries and everything in them. In keeping with the communist government decrees, they could not wear their habits. Some sisters went home to their families. The others started to work in different workplaces. Some of them worked in factories, others found work in a vestment-making company. One sister worked as a teacher. Some sisters found positions as cantors or sacristans. 4 sisters served in the kitchen of the seminary in Nyíregyháza. Only one of the sisters could work for the Basilica of Mariapocs. She served there for 51 years. The sisters' lives were not peaceful. The police spied upon them and often took them to headquarters for questioning. Any communication between the sisters and the clergy was difficult, but almost all the 24 sisters managed to keep their religious vocation. Sister Agatha Imre recalled, most of the sisters were in Nyíregyháza and worked in the seminary, but there were others who worked for state companies. We kept in touch with each other. We met in person during big church holy days and during summer vacations. General Superior Sister Christopher Malkowski, during her first general visitation, announced the establishment of the Dormition of the Mother of God Delegature in Hungary on February the 9th, 1975. The first superior was Sister Magdolna Karzub. The next superiors were Sister Agatha Imre and Sister Vasilia Kadestes. You see a photograph of the Basilian Sisters on spiritual retreats in Nergohaza in 1987. Sisters Christopher Malkowski and Emilia Prokopik in Magyarpocs, Hungary in 1987. After the political changes in Hungary in 1989, sisters got back from the state their monastery in Magyarpocs. It was completely robbed and unusable. During the decades of communism, an orphanage was located in the building. A full renovation started, and the sisters returned to the monastery on June 24th, 1991. There were 17 members of the community then, most of them elderly. The sisters resumed their community life and loving service at Mary's Shrine. After some additional rebuilding of the house, the sisters opened St. Macrina Nursing Home for 24 elderly women on February 20th, 1993. Now in 2022, after some enlargements to the buildings, the St. Macrina Nursing Home has 40 residents. Another St. Anne Nursing Home for 30 persons was established in Satorayahayalay in 1997. It was a building that the sisters received from the state instead of their own house. St. Anne Nursing Home in Satorayahayalay is now administered by sisters anymore. Presently, it has 54 residents. According to the directories of the order, in 1949, the community in Hungary had, in 1949, 26 members. In 1994, 12 members. In 2002, 8 members. Now in 2022, there are only 2 sisters, ages 89 and 78 years old. As there are only 2 sisters, now the community is called Dormition of the Mother of God Mission. During the last decades, except for Magyarpocs, the sisters had houses in Nyíregyháza, Satorayahaya, and Hajdúdarag. In 2000, there was an attempt to establish a contemplative monastery of Basilian Sisters in Hungary. On March 25th, 2014, on the Feast of Annunciation in Magyarpocs, the Divine Liturgy was celebrated by Bishop Philip Kossis on the occasion of the consecration of the restored monastery of the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary of the Basilian Sisters in Hungary. In the summer of 2022, General Superior Mother Marcella Runcan visited the sisters in Hungary. The Witnesses of Faith. The Basilian Sisters in Hungary testified to their faith during the communist persecution. On February 22nd, 2022, Sister Margit Agatha Imre received the award of Shield of Faith in Budapest. The award was given on the occasion of the Day of Remembrance for the Victims of Communism on February 25th. To those living church people who remained faithful to their faith, even during the communist dictatorship. Imre Margit Agatha was born in 1932 in Hajdúdarag. At the age of 14, she joined the Basilian Sisters in Magyarpocs, became a candidate at the age of 17, and secretly began her novitiate. She graduated in 1953 and obtained a degree in mathematics and physics. The years of long solitude for her had begun. Away from her monastic community, she received a teaching position in school and taught until 1988 when she retired. Over the decades, she was constantly made to feel like a tolerated person at school. She made her secret perpetual vows in 1968, followed by interrogations at the local police. Sister lived alone until 1989. At the time of the change of regime, she sewed her monastic dress in 1990 and then moved to the monastery in Mariapoc, which was returned to the community that same year. During the decades, most of the Basilian Sisters in Hungary lived and ministered in the main monastery near the shrine of the Mother of God in Mariapoc. In addition to Mariapoc, the sisters were also ministering in Budapest, Nyíregyháza, and Szatmárhelyile. The sisters performed the following ministries with dedication: taking care for the Dormition of the Mother of God shrine in Mariapoc and the pilgrims, served as sacristans, ran the religious goods shop in Mariapoc, took care of elderly women, and administered St. Macrina Nursing Home in Mariapoc, translated books and materials into the Hungarian language, catechized and prepared children for the reception of the Holy Mysteries, pastoral work in parishes, administered St. Anne's Nursing Home for men and women in Szatmárhelyile, provided various services for the eparchy. During the summer months, but especially on the feast of the Dormition of the Mother of God in August, the sisters were busy with pilgrims at the shrine of the miraculous icon of the Mother of God in Mariapoc. A tree is known by its fruits, a man by his deeds. A good deed is never lost. He who sows courtesy reaps friendship. He who plants kindness gathers love, says St. Basil the Great.